This is the Finesse Media Podcast, Season 3.
Holding it down, man. That's a classic movie, man. Welcome back to another episode of Finesse Media Podcast. I'm your boy, Ken Finesse Media. And as I mentioned right before the break, we got a great guest joining us this week on this episode. An actor, but you know him from the movie, the legendary movie Juice. But he's been in so many films, but he's been in Girlfriends for so many seasons, man. Welcome to the podcast for the first time. And joining me on my co-host special edition, my co-host Jasmine Duhan. But again, welcome to the podcast, Mr. Khalil Kane, my brother. What's going on?
What's happening, man? How you?
Man, I am good, my brother. It is good for to have you on this podcast. Again, we bring on people that's been finessing the game. And as I mentioned, I feel like I know you, man, because I grew up watching Juice. Then I seen you for many years on Girlfriends. So it feel like I know you, man. So how you been doing and battling through all of this, crazy world we're living in?
I'm good, man. Everything's cool. Girlfriends is out on Netflix right now, so there's a whole new resurgence of energy behind that show. I'm digging it. As far as all the other stuff, COVID and the election, I'm a black man. This is business as usual. Like I'm not even really tripping about it. I'm excited that Trump's gonna be gone.
Yay.
That's a beautiful thing. But other than that, I'm just waiting for them to open up the world again so I can go out and be with people.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. Listen, but I know you're battling things into the COVID thing, and we're going to get into the new film that you got coming out. I had your boy Arwan Jameson on, your co-star in the movie Coming to Africa. Can't wait to, see that film. He's dropping it here in Dallas coming up, so I can't wait to join him here in Dallas is where I'm at. But want to get into, before we get into Coming to Africa, that film that's set to come out, and definitely want to talk about where I met you, right? 1992, Juice. Can you believe it? Almost like 30 years the film has been out.
Yeah.
How you feel about that?
I'm happy to still be here, man. A lot of folks are not. Rest in peace, Tupac Shakur, right behind you. And this is a common occurrence. I had a cousin of mine, Dorian. He only lived to 24. Part of the issue that we have going on right now is black folks getting murdered out in the street.
Yep.
And by the power structure. So, 28 years in the game, I'm happy to still be here. I love it. Walking down the street, somebody yells out Raheem or Darnell. It's a beautiful thing. That's love. I've been fortunate. I never really was overly concerned with being famous or anything like that. It was more about like work and an opportunity to do something and have a name. You know what I mean? That's a big deal. But I never knew how. Turned out this was it. I've been lucky that I was in films like Juice, Love Jones, For Color Girls, Girlfriends. These are, and this is not me like picking and choosing and being careful. No, man, this is just by providence that it worked out that way, and I was able to get chosen to be in projects that really touch the culture. That's amazing.
Because I don't know if people know this, and I got a couple questions for the fans from our fan page later to ask you about, but I don't know if people know that because, man, you don't ever age, so I want to know what the regimen is. I'm going to ask you that later. But you were 27 when that movie, came out in 92, man. And
I got
so
a birthday coming up.
Right, November 22nd. I got you, man.
Yeah,
Scorpio season.
word.
Well, it's actually Sagittarius season now.
I'm on the cusp. Yeah.
On the cusp. But 27, kind of, how did you feel about being a part of that movie at such a later age in life? Because normally you get into acting kind of early and you be this big star maybe around that time. But 27, how was it kind of being on set? Were you one of the oldest cast members on set?
I was the oldest cast member. I mean, out of the crew, we got Sam Jackson in the film. We got Orange Juice Jones. There was a couple of cats older than me, but at the time I grew up in New York City, I did not know what it was I was going to do.
Right.
I had done a couple of commercials, again, by request. Hey man, would you be interested? Sure, why not? I'll go audition. And it just seemed to start to grow and gain momentum. And think about it. My first film being Juice. That's fortune, man.
Classic.
Providence. Yeah.
No, go ahead, Jazz. You got a question?
Well, I wanted to know, as far as COVID is concerned, how has it changed Hollywood TV and film working conditions, especially when it comes to auditions?
All of our auditions have been like this.
Mm.
You know, we're sending in tape, you're videotaping your situation and sending it in. They're looking at it and choosing that way. All productions are having to factor in COVID in their budgets as far as testing the cast, being able to test them regularly, being able to set up conditions and make sure everybody has masks. And it's, I mean, from what I understand, it's an average of $300,000. You know,
Well, I know that.
for a normally budgeted situation.
I know that Tyler Perry had like his whole cast at one point at his production studio for a vast majority of the time during the filming. And I thought that was brilliant. Just like the bubble that the basketball player.
That's the only way to be sure. There are people that don't even think it's real.
Mm-hmm.
My family alone, we lost 2 family members, and they were both older. Thank you. But and at the same time, there's always this room for doubt, because there are other things attacking the body, and people say, "Well, how do you know the doctors aren't just saying it was COVID?"
Right.
What are you going to do? But when you see that this is something that's global, it would have to be a pretty well planned out, insidious scheme to get the whole world to buy into this psychosis that this is.
Yeah, people aren't really taking it serious. Still, I mean, I think at one point it started where people weren't taking it serious, and then things started to shut down across the country, and people were like, "Whoa, shit! Like this is serious."
Mm-hmm.
And then I think now, as it progressed, people are like, "Man, fuck! I need to go to the club. I need to get my nails done.
Yeah.
I need to go to the mall." And now you have this high level of socialization, maybe where it wasn't even was before. So. It is a very serious thing, and I know that on the set it can certainly be different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to listen and be serious about this because it's serious. But you got Juice playing right behind you. I'm looking. That's why I was like laughing a little bit before. But I think people need to take care of themselves. People that are younger may get it and not get sick. I saw somebody today who told me they got it twice.
Wow.
My girlfriend got it, and we were in the same apartment together for the whole. While she was sick, I was taking care of her. When I went to the doctor, COVID-free, like it's crazy because I figured I was just not getting sick. You know, I just assumed that I had it. So when I went to the doctor, I was shocked when she told me that you got no antibody. You're COVID-free. Like, I never got it. I was like, all right, cool. Awesome.
Yeah. Glad you were safe and you know, like you said, staying in that bubble. So let's go back to Girlfriends, man. 8 seasons on that. And it's now on Netflix for a whole new generation to check it out. So I'm not even going to ask you your thoughts on it. I'm going to assume that it's an amazing feel because of 8 seasons. I don't think you missed an episode. You're definitely one of the star cast. People should be hollering out Darnell down the street when
They do. They do. They definitely do.
I know.
I think Darnell and Maya had a sort of specific chemistry that hadn't really been seen before. So I was shocked at how people really kind of bought into that.
Yeah.
I was like the cousin in the family, you know, as far as the episodes go. So I would come in, I would come out. It was a great place to work. Mara Braca Keel, who created the show, is a visionary, man. Like
She's so smart.
No, think about it. If you had an opportunity to just tell the stories you wanted to tell, and I think she did that from her perspective. And I think that's why even now people are going, wow, because at the time, like Black folks, I think we just took it for granted. Like we just assumed that we were going to have TV shows on like this, all the time. So, we check. Because I'll be honest, I rarely watch the show. It was coming on Monday nights. I was watching football, But, Mara really kind of dug in from the Black woman's perspective and like what was interesting to her, what was topical to her at the time. And so, the women on the show, Tracy, Jill, and Golden, Persia, they were able to tell the story honestly because it was stuff they were interested in too. Things that were affecting them also.
Mara Barker Kill is super incredible and smart. She and her husband.
Fine. She's gorgeous. Salim, my brother, what's happening? Yeah, they're great. The two of them.
She's definitely amazing in doing that. So on Girlfriends and being on that for 8 seasons, working with, Tracy Ellis Ross and, kind of seeing now what she's doing. How is working with her? She seemed just a whole lot of fun on set.
Tracy's great. She has a lot of fun. She's high energy. I remember once Christmas was rolling around and Tracy knocked on my door. She's like, "Hey, Khalil." I was like, "Yo, what's up?" She's like, "I got you a Christmas present." I was like, "Oh man, you didn't have to do that." She was like, "Nah, it's something small, so don't even trip. It's cool." I was like, "All right." She comes back and hits me with a DVD. Here, Lady Sings the Blues, signed Merry Christmas, Khalil, from Diana Ross. Wow. I was like, "Yo,
done." Done.
Yeah, that was fly as hell, man. I was really like, "Yo, this is like amazing." Thank you. No. Yeah, she's cool as hell. Yeah, Tracy's great, man.
No, that's dope. Go ahead, Jazz. You had a question.
I had the same question. What was it like to work with such amazing people? But I also want to know what keeps you grounded in this industry.
My mother. My mother had me when she was 16 and a half.
Wow.
So we grew up together. So as she was maturing and learning on the fly, think about it, those lessons that you learn when you're 22, 24, 25, and you got kids, like, it's heavy, and if you learn them well, I was the oldest. She was hitting me off with it. Like, look, because, I was her right-hand man. When we made moves, I had to be on point. So, she was teaching me as she was learning. And the things that were important about character and people, love and faith. So yeah, I wasn't phased at all. Like I've never been, all about money or like we were talking about before, about being famous. These things that are cool. It's great that, people recognize me or want to talk to me or want to interview me. Okay, good. Do you have anything to say? Like how do those people feel when they walk away from it? Like, are you touching people in a positive manner? Are you a force for good? Like, these are things that are important. When I'm moving around in the world, and by no means am I perfect, and I fuck up and I make mistakes, but like, it is something that is in the back of my mind when I make decisions. Like, is this going to make my family proud?
No, that's definitely dope. Definitely dope.
So that's why you ain't heard nothing about the kid. And even this whole, quarantining and social distancing, this is normal for me. I'm just not that dude. Like, I'm not out at all the parties.
No.
I don't really care how popular I am.
We hearing from you. We about to see it on screen. So dropping this month in November, Coming to Africa. You started in that film with Armand Jameson, lead actor. I had him on. He's a finesser. Shout out to Mr. Jameson if you're watching. But listen, that movie, dude, I watched the trailer, and I also watched a bunch of clips of you guys making this film. And the work that you guys put in creating this film, it definitely owes a lot of respect. In fact, it was shot in Ghana. Let's just start there. When you say movie Coming to Africa, you think, okay, what cheesy shit is this? No, they actually were in Ghana shooting. And then what I told Anwan was that you guys took a small crew over there and then combined working with the crew in Africa, and getting that production and working with one of the highly sought out actresses in Africa, one of the top. And I'm following her. She's a super dope, fine, melanated chick. So I super love that you guys work with her, and I'm catching up with some of the films that she got going on. But enough of that. You over there got this film coming out. Tell our listeners, how was it filming that upcoming movie?
What I have a question though. What did you think of Anwar Jameson? You said you interviewed.
Oh man, this guy is incredible. So we started to talk about some of the commonalities that we had. He teaches in Arkansas. I went to undergrad at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. So for my new listeners, it's an HBCU. So we also shout out HBCUs each and every week. But he is a dope dude, innovator. Like I say, I'll be catching him on a day before your birthday on the 21st here in Dallas, Texas. But he's a good dude, man. And I think he really puts his people, if you will, before his projects, and a couple of things he's done before. So he's a finesse. He's somebody that I wanted to have on.
Now, this is an independent film.
Yes, it is.
Part of the reason I did the film was because of Anwar Jameson. He found me. He asked me if I would be in his film. He sent me the script. The script was tight. The script has something to say. Not only does it have something to say, it has something to say about Black people. This is a film that was made partly with his own money. It was ambitious. I'll put it that way. It was very ambitious. Like I personally didn't go to Ghana.
You didn't?
I did not. They did. Everything that I shot was in Memphis. I don't know them like that. I was like, I ain't going to Africa with y'all.
Oh man, you spoiled the movie then.
But seriously, this was a man who knew what he wanted. And me being in the business for so long, I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is kind of a daunting task. I was curious to see if he's going to be able to pull it off.
Oh.
So first I was like, can't go to Africa. They gave me a different role. He rewrote the script, punched up this other role, and hit me back. Didn't take no for an answer. Hit me back. All right, I did this. Check it out. Would you be interested in playing this role? And you shoot everything in Memphis. This way we could have you in the film.
Sweet.
I read it, and I liked his style. I was like, bet, let's do that. Still, these cats is taking, they're going to find their crew over there in Ghana, shoot everything, come back, post-production, all this, where you're going to get the sound, the tracking, the soundtrack for the film. There's a lot that goes into making a movie.
Yeah.
And Anwar is like a one-man band. So I was like, all right, man, handle your business. I'll do what I can to help. So proud of him, man.
Yeah.
The fact that he got the film this far is huge.
Yeah.
And it's a huge accomplishment.
And I know you guys were set to debut it in Memphis in May. He told me a lot about that, and that was going to be hot, but it's coming on back in Memphis. He tells me for next round. So being in that movie, with the other actress, and again, you didn't take with her now that I know, but I'm looking at the trailer and I'm like, I can't wait to see it on the 21st, the Coming to Africa movie.
It's really a heartwarming film, man. And Anwar is a good dude.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I've been doing this 28 years, I guess. I want to work with people that I like, man. Anwar's a genuinely good brother. And like you said, he looks out for his people. He's doing something, he's doing this for the community. He's doing this, for his own spirit.
Yeah.
And I think there's more coming. When I was just in Memphis, we did the Indie Memphis Film Festival.
Okay.
So he asked me if I would come there to support the film. I came out. I told him, man, I said, this is the beginning for you. This is just the door opening. Now you have to figure out how you're going to handle this and what's going to happen next. And I told him I was very proud of him. I mean, it's a wonderful accomplishment.
Yeah.
Him and his family.
it's definitely not easy. And I never shot a film, but he tells me this is like his fourth film. So, and I'm sure doing this film internationally was probably a bigger challenge than previous films where he told me he shot domestically. But tell us, Khalil, about your character in this movie.
I play the older brother,
Okay.
and I own a barbershop, you know, but I own the barbershop with him. He's a financier. His character is a financier, so he's, you know, kind of white collar, making money. He's an investor in the shop. I run the shop. It's my shop. But my character is very pro-black, very much about the community and building that and wanting to get him involved. At that point in the film, he's about his money. Things don't work out with his overseers, and he ends up taking a trip to Africa with our other brother. And I stay home to take care of the shop. And we talk and stay in touch the whole time. But where do we go to find ourselves? For every single person, it's a different place. And in this film, this guy ended up in Ghana to find his spirit, you know. And as far as I've never been to Africa, so I'm really looking forward to going. And even that, as a black man watching this film, it even reinforced that more. Like that, I gotta go home. You know what I mean? Like I gotta get there and experience that.
No, definitely. I thought you were already there, but we won't spoil it. You just got to make sure you check it out on our streaming platforms and in theaters when it hits your area, when it drops. I don't have the date, so I can't say it. I don't know if you know, Khalil.
I think it's coming out this coming Friday.
Okay.
Amazon Prime and all that. Yeah.
Get it this Friday. Also, what do we want to talk about now is some questions that I got from some fans, man. So when I told my audience you were coming on, they're like, yo, ask him this. So a couple of questions we're going to go back to because I think one question did come from your role while you were playing in Juice, Raheem. So this person said, do you feel that you play an iconic role in Juice since it was considered an iconic or classic movie?
Yeah. If
you say
later,
duh.
30 years later, you know, some random person is still saying Raheem, yeah, that's an iconic role.
For sure.
No doubt.
Yeah, I waited 28 years to talk to you, so.
No, but it's very, very interesting to me only because when we shot the film, we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know that it was going to have legs like this, that it was going to last this long, that it was going to become part of the culture. Maybe Tupac. I didn't know.
And so my next question, that's a good segue, Khalil, because the next question comes in from one of our Facebook fans, and they say, what was it like working with Tupac Shakur, and what influence, if any, did he have on you as an actor and as a person?
Wow, I never heard that question before. What was it like to work with Tupac? No. Pac was special. As far as this whole acting thing, even my role in Juice, I probably wouldn't have got that role if it wasn't for Tupac. When we were in the room auditioning, he was so on fire, like, and about his business. Like I'm like, you could just tell Pac was like, fuck that, I'm gonna be in this movie. I'm tearing it down. I'm crushing everybody in here. So that first time I was in the room, because they were bringing us in the room together just to try and see chemistry, you know, between the cats. I looked over and I thought to myself after we had done a couple of scenes, I thought to myself, if I'm going to get a role in this movie, I'm going to have to be as good or better than that kid right there because he's killing it. Mm-hmm. So I lifted up my whole, level of performance, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
And as far as influence goes, Pac is one of those young black men that I've had the pleasure to know in my life that allows me to understand that we can do anything. Pop did everything that he said he was going to do. I mean, facts. Me and him hung out, and he was saying how, this time next year I'm gonna be a millionaire. I'm gonna have my records about to drop. Man, shut the hell up. You ain't about to. You know how we do, man. And then you look up, and like
he's a millionaire.
Everything.
So
but still your man. You know what I mean? Like anytime I would see Pac, we would pick up right where we left off.
This has been another edition of the Finesse Media Podcast. Join us again next week for the latest news from HBCUs. Special guest.
He's young, he's vibrant, smiling, beautiful. Shit breaks my heart, man. I don't like to, I really don't really watch.
It's a classic film, Khalil, man. It's such a.
Look at that beautiful kid back there.
Well, our listeners, man, we got the film Juice playing in the background. And Khalil, you don't age. There was another question that came from the Facebook page. They were asking about your regimen. What do you do to keep? You mentioned, keep looking young. You mentioned you got a birthday coming up. You're about to be 56 years old in this motherfucker. Yeah. So what is a regimen? What are you doing, man? Help me out.
I need to know.
All right. The best I could tell you is to live a.
Don't say don't drink wine, because.
No, I drink my wine. Live a stress-free lifestyle. Do not sweat the small stuff. Work what you can work. Everything else, let it fall into place. We don't really have control over. So there's a lot of anxiety and stress that comes out of trying to, control everything. But I kick back. I keep my spirit clean. I let the universe do what it does with very positive intention. And I don't really fuck with time. I don't. Like, it's been relative. 10 years. It's been. It is.
It's relative.
I don't think about years. I don't think about how long it's gonna take. It's gonna take as long as it takes. My ambition has never interrupted my time. Ever.
That's a good one.
No, that's a real good one. My ambition has never interrupted my time. And so as I ask, and my final question, Khalil, each and every guest on Finesse Media Podcast, we bring you on because you're someone that's finessing the game. But I like to know, man, who's for you? I know you mentioned your mom, and we can double down on it if it's the same answer. But who's the person that's finessing the game for you?
They're no longer here. But the person that really showed me how to finesse the game was Gregory Hines. God rest his soul.
You said Gregory Hines?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Gregory Hines. We did a film called Renaissance Man together. That was a beautiful human being, and one of the best to ever do it. Like the GOAT, one of the best to ever put tap shoes on. But regardless of how talented you might be, the man was obviously talented. Tony Awards, triple threat, like an amazing tap dancer, a beautiful actor, but he was a beautiful human being. And he really tested me to look at myself. One night he asked me the question, why are you so angry? And my response was, I'm not angry. He asked me again, why are you so angry? I had just done something that I probably shouldn't have done. It was aggressive. But he took the time out not to reprimand me, but to really make me look at it. And then after taking that moment to look at myself, I started really looking at him and how he walked around and how he treated people and then how people treated him. Kind of changed the game for me, man. I didn't feel like I had to, get people out of my face. I started realizing once I changed my spirit a little bit, how I was walking around in the world, nobody was getting in my face anymore. You know.
So
Then
did you
I had
feel
the
like
freedom
you
to
had to
connect,
have
bruh.
this? Did you feel like you had to have this kind of tough or defense mechanism all the time, growing up where you were from?
A black male, man, a young black man in America. How else are you gonna survive? You are taught that from the time you're like 3 years old and you leave the house.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
know, so that was something that I had to really learn to outgrow. And when I started paying attention, like Gregory never did it, never had to do it. All these people love him. They thought like people would just get around. And he was killing the game,
Yeah.
killing it. But like a solid, beautiful human being, like just a marvelous man. And that's why, you know, when I meet somebody like an Anwar Jameson, I can recognize it right away. You know, and I can work with this man and not ever have to think like what's he up to? What's he doing? You know, when nobody's around, like if I'm not in the room, is he saying something funky about me? Like these are thoughts that we have about people because we know that's what's going down.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are other people that you never think about it twice because, you know, that's just not their style.
Right, right. No, Gregory Hines is definitely somebody who has finessed the game, you know, rest in power, and definitely a legend in every right, man. So like you, Khalil, man, thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
giving us this film, Juice, years ago, and it continues to be in homes and on any, you know, platform now that you can find it on. It's there for the new generation to learn about you and, you know, and now keep up with you. So even through, you know, your artistry, we didn't even talk about, I wanted to ask, and I do have a question that comes from the Four Color Girls. That was a difficult kind of role that I seen from you, kind of being from Darnell and from Raheem. That was a different role. And before I let you go, I do, because this does come from a question from one of our Facebookers. How was that role for you? And how did you prepare yourself for that role?
I don't know. I don't know that there was a lot of preparation. I think it was more curiosity. I think it gave me an opportunity to explore a darker side of my being that I know exists, and just allow it to come out and play, you know, in a very honest way.
What do you mean about that?
What?
I said, what do you mean about that when you say some of your darkest ways?
No, I think all of us have. I mean, that's talents, man. Light and dark. All of us have, you know, good and bad in us. We have the ability to commit a heinous act. Sometimes we do it without even meaning to. It just comes out. You know. I mean, I've been in that situation. Somebody's just got under my skin so much that I just punched them in the face. You know what I mean? Like, that's not something I would normally do. You know, but it exists. That had to like live in me before. It doesn't just all of a sudden happen. Like that's in you. You know. These are things that we know about, wonder about. Think, how could somebody actually violate another human being that way? But you've thought about it. You've worked it out in your mind a little bit, you know. That was a tough day of work, I'll tell you. That Rick scene with the Nicanoni Rose. I thought it was good work, man.
No,
I thought it was very honest work. You know, I didn't shy away from it. I walked right into it.
No, it was a good role, dude. It was just the preparation of it. I wanted to know, and how you know, kind of tapped into that person.
There's a TV show, Claws. Who's the woman? Damn, I can't remember her name right now. I love her. I think she's amazing. She plays the lead in Claws.
In Claws?
Yeah.
Is that I haven't watched Claws, I'll be honest. That's on FX.
I'm trying to think of her name. It's right on the tip of my tongue.
Right. She just got married.
Yeah,
Niecy
I know what
Nash.
you're talking about. Niecy.
Niecy Nash.
Niecy Nash. Love me some Niecy Nash. At the premiere for Colored Girls, we're in New York City. It was at the Plaza Hotel. The after party was fly. I leave my family. We had our little VIP section. I leave my family to just kind of walk around a little bit, go to the bar, get a drink. I roll up to the bar. Niecy Nash is there. We're both waiting to get our drink. She looks over at me. I look over her. She's like, "Hi, Khalil." I said, "Hey, Niecy, what's happening?" She goes, "Nice work. Thank you." She goes, "I got to tell you, like, I'm a fan. I really dig your work." And I was like, "Thank you." She goes, "I got to tell you, like, tonight." She said, "Normally I would just come over and give you a hug. You ain't getting no hug tonight, baby." She was like, "Nah." I was like, "Wow, for real?" She was like, "Nope. I was like, "Wow, it's like that." She was like, "Yeah, it's like that. Like, I'm still feeling that. So, you did your thing." I was like, "Thanks." But like, I'm still.
She's still jaded from that character.
I'm still waiting on that hug from Niecy Nash, man.
No, shout out to Niecy Nash. She's definitely dope. And
Yeah.
but Khalil, like I said, this film is coming out. You guys make sure you check it out. Make sure you stay tuned. Khalil, let people know how they can keep up with you, because you are doing a social media thing. So let us know how they can.
Everything on social media is under my name, Khalil Kane. But primarily, I'm just on Instagram.
Yeah.
Facebook, I don't really do. Twitter, I don't really do. I'm trying to live my life, man. I can't get sucked into the rabbit hole of social media. And it's an easy way to get in trouble. Like, I really try to keep it, because if I'm going to be on there, I'm going to pop a little political shit. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to put up a selfie every once in a while. But, like, again, if you ain't got nothing to say, shut the hell up.
For sure.
So, with that said, can't be up on Instagram and Twitter arguing with people over. So, follow me on Instagram. That'd be cool. I'll follow you back. I'll say what's up. I really make an effort to return direct messages and all that. I love my people. So, yeah, that would probably be it.
For sure. Khalil Kane, man.
Yeah,
Juice,
man.
Girlfriends, Colored Girls, the Renaissance Man, Coming to Africa. Love Jones. Let me run this thing, man. Let me run my show. You know you got a birthday coming up, man. Birthday boy. All right, man. Birthday boy. But listen, Khalil, I appreciate you, man. I definitely tell you I'm a fan. My co-host, Jazz, thank you so much also for joining me on this special episode, co-hosting with me, holding it down. But again, my brother, I'm about to watch Juice and get caught up all over again. And again, thank you for joining the podcast, my brother. You continue to finesse the game, and you be well, my brother.
Enjoy yourself.
All right, for sure, man. Thank you so much. This has been another episode of Finesse Media Podcast, Season 3. We'll be back with something brand new next week. See ya.
This has been another edition of the Finesse Media Podcast. Join us again next week for the latest news from HBCUs. Special guest